Okay. And, whoops. Don't look, anybody. There we go. Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much, Kelly and the University of Guelph and the team at the Research Innovation Office for having the City of Guelph here today to talk to you a little bit about the Economic Development Office and the services that we offer to businesses that are looking to connect and grow in our community. So just quickly going to go over the agenda. My name is Christine Chapman, and my colleagues Tyson McMahon and Curtis Wells are also here to talk to you a bit about the services that we offer. I'm just going to quickly go through the agenda. So I'm just going to go around, talk about business in Guelph and talk about Guelph itself and some of the targeted growth sectors we have related to our economic development activities, and talk a bit about business retention and expansion and what we do to help businesses to establish and grow. And about the partners. So we don't do any of these business services alone. We do them with a group of really great, fantastic people located here in Guelph that are here to support you as well. And then Tyson's going to talk a bit about investment attraction. So what do we do to help to bring new dollars to our community and businesses that will help to support those clusters of businesses that are already here. And then of course, promotion. We do a lot of promotion both internally and externally outside of Guelph, across Canada and across the world. So, so Curtis is going to talk to you about that. And then we can open it up for some questions and answers. We just recently, our department went through a reorganization. So a new department was formed called Economic Development and Tourism. And so this just goes to show you where we're located within the municipality. So we are not a standalone organization. We are a municipal division. Our division is has been now part of the Economic Development and Tourism team. As you can imagine, that team is made up of economic development and then tourism services. The city-owned Guelph Junction Railway is also part of that team. So the city of Guelph owns its own short line rail. And there is a special large development project in our downtown. Some of you who live here may be familiar with it. It's called the Baker District, which is part of a larger residential, commercial, and new public library development in our core. So that's our team, and that's where we're all within the infrastructure development and enterprise service area. So this is us, Economic Development Division. And the functions that we have within that division is business retention and expansion, as I noted. So that's looking after those businesses that are already here, making sure that they're connected with other levels of government who typically do have funding or opportunities to promote your business or connect with other researchers and those kinds of things. So our job is to understand what those programs are and help to connect our local Guelph businesses with them. And then there's investment attraction, and I talked about that a little bit already, but Tyson will go into details about specifically what that looks like. But again, it's attracting new dollars to our community and building Guelph the way that we want to see it grow. And then we have a couple of special land development projects, aside from Baker Street. That's a whole other thing. But that's specifically the Hanlon Creek Business Park. So we do land sales within the Hanlon Creek Business Park. And to some businesses that have spun off of the university have located within that park. And then we also have 200 Beverly Street, which is a brownfield that's just on the outside of downtown, and looking to redevelop that project as well with a partner. And then, of course, we do promotion, as I already noted, both outside of the community and, both inside the community and outside of the community as well. One of the things that strings all of the work that we do together is around building partnerships. So building partnerships internally is something that our department is constantly looking to do. Again, we're a small team, so other departments and expertise lies elsewhere outside of economic development. So we're trying to build partnerships internally. as well as externally, and particularly related to larger development projects is where we're really looking to make sure that we live by our pledge. And our pledge that the City of Guelph has taken is our building partnerships pledge. It's to help get to yes. So we are a regulatory body, but that doesn't always need to be no. It can very well be, here are the ways that we can help you to see what it is, the vision you want out of whatever development project it is that you might be looking at. We also are constantly trying to develop new tools to help inform people before they even get into development processes about what that they can expect and what kind of teams that they need to build. We also create a team internally to help support you. So again, we don't know everything in economic development. We have experts in other departments that we work with, and we create a team to help get you to the finish line of what it is that you're looking to do. And listen, learn, and lead is another part of that pledge. And of course, I think we all take part in that in the sense of constantly listening and improving and continuous improvement. And so again, that's a really, really important part about building partnerships is listening and always trying to improve. So if you do decide to grow your business in Guelph, you will be joining a great number of other businesses that have done that. Guelph has been home to small and large businesses that have spun off of the university, and this is Guelph here. So for those of you that live here, this is familiar. However, you may not look at it in this way and looking at those places where we see the concentration of businesses in our community. So what you're looking at here are those zones that are zoned for employment uses. And so you do decide to expand here and grow in the city, you have a better idea as to what you'd be looking at. So the northwest part here on this map is typically where we see our manufacturers, but there's quite it's a large area, and there's a lot of smaller to medium-sized businesses that are located here as well. Some of the spin-off businesses from the university would include Siva Animal Health, which purchased a company called BTech, which works with antibiotics in chickens. Was a brand new development done by New Biota, who works with gut microbes. I wish I could know more about that, but a big trending and growing area in the life sciences. Downtown is, of course, our oldest employment zone, and we're seeing a lot of tech companies grow there and have more interest there. There's also a lot of residential development. So if you are looking for a place to live close to work, downtown might be something that works for you. Just south of that, of course, is the University of Guelph. There are 2 research parks on the University of Guelph. Typically, we do see a lot of businesses that come out of the university first locating in those parks, and then as they grow out of that space, find locations elsewhere. For certain types of research, of course, it's important to be close to your labs and those kinds of things. So that's a very, very important part of employment here in our community. Then to the east, so to the right, that big square, that big green square, is something I really want to make sure that I bring to your attention, in the sense that this is called the Guelph Innovation District. It is not a developed portion of our community yet. We do have a plan for it. That plan involves residential development, employment, and research. So the intention and the vision for that space is to evolve into really to grow, incubate, and connect green technology businesses, innovative businesses. And of course, you can see it's located right next to the university. And so we're very excited about that space, and I wanted to bring it to your attention. And we will probably be coming on board. We're probably going to see but probably in the next 3 to 5 years, we might start to see some development there. And then, of course, the South End, which is our newest employment area, and we've got a number of businesses from the university that have located there. Some very large, like our WDI was a business that started at the university. Most recently, we've got Marexis, and we also have Scartman Labs, a small business that again started small at the university and has grown. So just an idea to say these are the locations in the city that we are seeing employment growth. Now, talking about employment growth, we do have some particular sectors that we focus our attention on. Manufacturing, of course, we're in Ontario, a mid-sized Ontario city. Advanced manufacturing is incredibly important. It is still our largest employer, and of course, Linamar is our largest employer in this sector as well. But advanced manufacturing is it's not just car parts anymore. Advanced manufacturing, we have seen a real shift in manufacturing, the manufacturing floor. We've got lots of opportunities related to connecting in with our existing manufacturers. If you are looking to make those business connections, there's a wide variety of sectors in our, industries within our advanced manufacturing sector, and it continues to grow. So that's that's our largest sector. This one is absolutely no stranger to the University of Guelph. This is our Agri Innovation sector. The University of Guelph is a huge partner related in Agri Innovation, as with other government agencies and food industries that are located here in our community. Many of them are on the research parks that I had mentioned earlier, and you can see we have almost 1,500 employers and entrepreneurs in this sector, and it continues to grow and is a really important innovative sector for us. Clean technology is a bit of a smaller sector, but certainly growing. And we do have advantages in Guelph related to water technologies. The city is a huge supporter of water conservation technologies, wastewater technologies, and we will certainly continue to see this this sector mature and grow in our community. And then information and communication technology. So lots of technology, but this is also growing, particularly in our downtown, but we are certainly seeing more action from information and communication technologies, cybersecurity. Obviously, the university plays a big part in that. Precision agriculture is another one that we've seen pop up specifically to Guelph, and so we're looking to help to grow that sector as well. How does Guelph compare if you were looking at doing a business elsewhere, which you don't even need to think about, because we are very competitive as it relates to the costs of doing business. And you can see by this graph, which was just recently released by CBRE, you can see where Guelph sits in comparison to other. So we've got US at the far left there, but even in the purple Canadian communities, you can see where Guelph sits. Even in comparison to those communities that are close to us geographically, we are still very much different in terms of the cost of doing business. And for those of you that live here, I don't need to sell you on how great this community is as a place to live. A recent study was done where 95% of residents considered Guelph to be a welcoming community. That's great for us as it relates to workforce development, trying to attract people to our community. And of course, 95 or 97% said it was either a good or very good quality of life here in the city of Guelph. So business retention, that's Guelph in a nutshell about sort of our sectors and employment areas and what Guelph looks like and where it is that we as a city are looking to grow. Particular to the business retention and expansion work we do. Essentially what we act as is your municipal contact. If you have questions about the city, if you have concerns, if you've been, visited by one of our bylaw officers, or you have any types of questions at all, you can contact our office. That's what we're here for. We're here to help work you through processes and help address any issues. So for example, you have decided to move into a brand new building and you need to go through and do some improvements to that building. Give us a call. We've got tools to help you to help you know what to expect when you're getting into that process, and help you through any of the sort of questions that you have. If perhaps you might be even going bigger and looking to develop a property in the city, again, contact our office. We've got tools for you. We can help you through that process, and it doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be scary, because we're here holding your hand. We like to reach out to businesses, and we want to hear from you all of the time about the ways that we can continuously provide better municipal services to you. And we don't do this alone. I'm just noticing I've got some bad network quality. Can everybody still hear me?
I can. You were breaking up maybe a minute.
Okay.
It's okay now.
Okay. I have been having the worst week for that. It's just been nuts. I'm sure we all have those weeks. You're almost done listening to me. So again, don't go at it alone. I can't tell you how many businesses that I've talked to that have already been in business for 10 years. They've been, slogging it out, and, they've made a bunch of mistakes and they've learned from them and they've been better because of it. And that's fantastic. But, you don't have to go through those hurdles alone. We do have a great business services network here in Guelph. Bookmark this page, growguelph.ca. So this is a portal into all of the different local business services that are available to you. We have about 11 or 12 different organizations that are part of Grow Guelph. Specifically, I pulled out a couple that I think would be of interest to you. So starting at the far right here, we've got the Business Center. This is our small business center, and they can help with some entrepreneurial type services. They do provide a 1-hour free consultation. They can help with business case writing and those kinds of things. A great resource here locally. Next, the Guelph Chamber of Commerce. A lot of businesses that are starting out, particularly, we say check out the Chamber's membership options. There's a lot of cost savings that you can that you may be able to access through the Chamber. There's also Ontario and Canadian Chamber benefits that you can access as being a member of that organization if it works for you. Typically, that's where you're going to find all of your local networking. So if you're looking to get out and connecting with other businesses in the community, certainly check out some of the options that are available through the Guelph Chamber. We also work very closely with the Ontario government, both through OMAFRA and the Ministry of Economic Development. OMAFRA is very specific to agri-food and innovation, but typically most of the funding opportunities will come from the provincial or the federal levels, but our direct connections is typically with the Ontario government. So we're aware of the programs that they have available, and we can help to connect you with them. And then there's Innovation Guelph, a huge asset that we have locally. And these are for those technologies that are looking to commercialize, they're looking to scale, that are looking for a business partner. Maybe you're looking to solve a problem. Maybe you need some industry insight. That's where we certainly leverage the services available through Innovation Guelph. So those are just some of the services that are available, but check out Grow Guelph, and it's updated and ready to connect you with what it is you need. So I think that's it for me. I'm going to hand it over to Tyson McMahon.
Thanks, Christine. Hi, everyone. As Christine mentioned, I'm Tyson McMahon. I'm the Business Development Analyst at the Economic Development Department for the City of Guelph. So that captures a lot of different things or portfolios, but the main one is investment traction, as Christine noted. So before getting in there, I just want to plug something Christine mentioned before. Once you get to the stage of looking for space, whether it's land or whether it's office space, even co-working, give us a shout, give me a shout. We have a good relationship with the local realtors here. So we have a good idea of what space is available, what may be coming up. So again, kind of when you're at that stage, feel free to reach out and we can help you with kind of your space needs, as well as market data. So if you're looking for market research, demographic data, anything, anything as it relates to data that would help your business, your promotion, getting your product out to market, again, feel free to shoot us an email and we're there to help. And I'm going to speak to in a couple minutes just some of the resources that we can share directly with you on that.
Is that
so? Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So for investment traction, as Christine mentioned, this is as exactly as it sounds. We're looking to attract new investment to the city of Guelph. But I think as it kind of relates to your growth as companies, I think what is most valuable to you is some of the research and the innovation opportunities and the connections to those in-market opportunities. So we have a great relationship with the Trade Commissioner Service. So that's the federal government's kind of arm as it relates to foreign investment. And so we have a good relationship with a number of trade commissioners throughout the world, whether it's Europe, Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, Chicago. We kind of have a really good relationship, and that's was kind of spoken to earlier in the year where we brought them out and we were able to kind of showcase the city of Guelph to them. So when they're in market, when they're in Germany, when they're in Chicago, they're able to speak to Guelph and some of the opportunities we have. Now, in terms of the benefits for you as organizations or companies, this is where a lot of the opportunities come of when we go into market, or if you have a product, you're looking to maybe enter the German market, there are trade missions and opportunities where we can have you or bring you along for that. And in some cases, it doesn't matter what stage you are. It could be very early pre-commercialization. You just want to get your feet wet and have an understanding of the German market, or you have a product, you already have a contact, you want to finalize a product sourcing deal or something like that. So we have a lot of opportunities that come out. We regularly post them kind of in our MYB, so our Mind Your Business newsletter. If you're not subscribed to that, that has a lot of the new missions or the new events that come out. And if you go to the next slide, Christine. So these are just some of the ones we've been to actually in the past year. So again, with the pandemic occurring, a lot of these missions or events have turned into online or virtual formats, which actually I think are a benefit in some cases to some companies, especially those that, you know, are still early days, still looking, and the cost commitment is not there for the virtual experience as it would be kind of trying to go in market. And I know in some cases that's a bit of a barrier for companies looking for other markets is the cost involved as well. So you can see we kind of have a range of events. We were at the AI Summit in London, UK. That was kind of part of a larger Canadian contingent. So we went there with a bunch of our communities. CL Canada, that's in Paris, France. That's a bit of a typical event for us. That's a very large food and beverage event. And we partner with the County of Wellington on that. We've had a lot of success. And again, you'll see the link here. This is the link to the Ontario Trade Investment Office. So the reason I included that is for a number of reasons. One, they do a really good job of listing all the trade missions and events, giving you the contact at the ministry. Again, we receive most of these as well and push it out through our Mind Your Business newsletter. But again, it's if you ever want to take a look at what's coming up, what countries, they do a good job of announcing what the events are. And again, in many cases, given that it's virtual, the cost is minimal. Most of the time you just have to apply and they'll assess you and see if you are a good fit for the mission at hand. And another one I want to mention in that link is there is access to in-market reports, so trade market reports. So in many cases, these are reports that you would get from IBIS World or other organizations that are costly. So we have relationships with the province as well as the feds to access for that kind of market reports. So in that link, if there's nothing that you see there, again, feel free to give me a shout or an email, and we can help you in terms of the different data or in-market opportunities that are available. So just to summarize again, regardless of the stage you're at, it's always to get a good feel of, are there other market opportunities beside Canada? We're always here to grow companies, and part of that is helping them to export to other jurisdictions. So again, feel free to take a look. Any questions, you'll have my contact information at the end, and I'm here to help you grow your business as well. So I think with that, we'll pass it on to Curtis.
Sorry, is it going through the
Yeah, we see the trade missions.
Now we're good.
Promotions.
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you. So I'm Curtis Wells, Marketing and Events Coordinator with the Economic Development team. Today I'll be chatting about promotion. So we aim to promote Guelph as a great place to do business, but also aim to keep our businesses, our existing businesses here happy and keep them expanding so that they stay within our community. And we do that by providing some additional promotion their business and help profile them. So you can see on this slide here on the photo on the left, that's me at an event. So we're very active in the community at some of these events. Obviously, this was pre-COVID. And then on the right is Tyson and I at the IADC conference with a couple of awards that our team has won. So if we move on to the next slide. In terms of business promotion, we do a variety of different things to try to help the businesses in our community succeed. So in new build situations, we help plan and coordinate groundbreaking events to help generate buzz about the new business before they even open their doors. So with this, we put together a news release to announce the groundbreaking. We coordinate with leaders in the community, such as the mayor, to have them attend the event and be a part of kind of the photo op, and then we help with kind of putting it through our different channels, whether that be our newsletter or our social media channels. We also, when a business is ready to open their doors, we work with them to coordinate grand opening events. So our level of assistance and involvement in this kind of event varies from business to business, and we try to help where we can. So we've done everything from a traditional like ribbon cutting to a murder mystery dinner to a business tour. So there's a variety of different things. We always try to encourage the businesses to keep it fun, and just because then it leaves a lasting impression. So with the grand opening events, we also offer a welcome campaign free of charge covered by our department. And so this helps to promote the business. We do paid social media, Google AdWords advertising, and a whole bunch of different campaigns just to try and keep the buzz going and share that announcement. And then we also provide an analytics report to the business to show them just that additional exposure that we got them as a result of that campaign. We then present a welcome plaque to the business so that they can display it in their business. It has the official grand opening date and whatnot. So you could see in the photo there, that was the Shipper Bee grand opening. So that's the plaque there in the center. So we try to do this to just, again, it's kind of it's a milestone event for the business. So we want to mark it and make it as great of a day as possible. We also work with businesses to provide free exposure through business spotlight profiles. So these are 500 to 750 word profiles that we write with the business's input. So we send a series of questions, we get the responses back, we help formulate a bit of a success story, and then post and share through our newsletter and social media. Again, this is all free of charge to the business, so it helps them get their name out there to our database, as well as just it's additional free exposure. And then, as Tyson mentioned earlier, we have the Mind Your Business e-newsletter. So this goes out on a monthly basis, usually around the 15th of the month, depending on what else is happening. And we also do special bulletins in between if there's timely news to share. So that would be some of those things like Tyson was mentioning about whether there's a trade mission or something like that that's more timely, then we'll send out a special bulletin just to ensure that our subscribers are receiving the most up-to-date information. Currently, we have just shy of 4,000 subscribers, which range from residents to businesses to international contacts. So, as Tyson mentioned earlier, I encourage you to subscribe if you're not already on our list. It's guelph.ca/MYB, and it's a free subscription. And you can unsubscribe at any time if you find that the news is not relevant. And you also have the opportunity to send in news. So if there's, we accept any kind of links or success stories, that kind of thing. If you just send it in to us on at that exact same link, we'll include it in our upcoming newsletters. So within the newsletters, we share business success stories, funding opportunities, upcoming events, and more. So it varies on a month by month basis. Some months our newsletter seems like it's really long, but then there's some months where it's less information, but it's always valuable. On social media, we're active on both Facebook and Twitter. So we have our own accounts, which are the Invest in Guelph accounts. So we encourage you to follow those as well. It's at Invest in Guelph, or on Facebook, it's /Invest in Guelph. So we try to post regular updates on all things business related. And this is where we get out a lot. So some of the stuff that maybe doesn't get into a newsletter just because it's more one-off items, we share through here. So it's definitely a valuable feed to be following. And we also follow back businesses and retweet and share their information as well to, again, help provide just another level of exposure. And then the last thing is Guelph Shops. So this was a campaign we launched in July. We actually launched this in partnership with the university and the Guelph Chamber. So it's a shop local campaign to encourage residents to think local when making their purchases. This was a result of the pandemic, but we've had great success so far. So we're looking at keeping this running beyond the pandemic, because shopping local is always important. It doesn't matter when. So you've probably heard of Guelph Shops, and if you haven't, we have a holiday shopping campaign that's going live shortly through Guelph Shops. So you'll see we're going to have some ads on transit. We'll have some digital ads through a variety of different networks. We'll be on social, our newsletter, and whatnot. And we also, through that, we encourage businesses to list their business on there so that we could drive traffic. And so if we move on to the next slide. For promotional materials, we have quite a few available, and we have them available both in print and digitally. So the first one I'll start with is sector profiles. So you can see the sector profiles there. That's the screenshots of the covers off to the right. So last year we put together these updated sector profiles for our growth sectors that Christine went through earlier. So sector profiles include everything from sector information to testimonials from businesses, Guelph businesses within those sectors, to leading companies and more. So we have the digital versions available on guelph.ca/business, and they're 6 pages. So it's we tried to keep the information valuable, but it's a good snapshot of what each of those sectors presents. We also have our community profile, which highlights some of the key information on Guelph. So we have these on hand at our office as well as on our website again. So I encourage you to check it out, and because it includes a lot of the information we've talked about today in the presentation, as well as some additional information that we may not get to touch on. We also have the business directory that we work with the Guelph Chamber on. So this is available in print and online, and lists businesses in Guelph along with their contact information. So this is kind of the most up-to-date kind of database of businesses that are in Guelph, and they're all like sectioned out into their sectors. And then the last material we have is city-owned land promotional materials. So the Hanlon Creek Business Park Phase 1 is city-owned, so we have a sales flyer that's available just with some of the lands that are remaining. We have these readily available to send off to prospective investors when we receive inquiries, and we also have print copies if requested. So that's a bit of about promotion. So please do check out our materials and reach out to me if you have any questions. My email will pop up on the contact slide at the end, and I'm happy to chat if you have any questions about anything that I spoke about. I'll now hand it back to Christine to chat about our team.
Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit there. So this is our overall economic development and tourism team, including the railway. And if there is, and we'll make sure that this is circulated out to you so you have all of our contact information. This is us in economic development, and so we can open it up for questions. And I'm sure I can stop sharing, and maybe we just, let's see. I may need to give, oh, hold on a minute here. There we go. Stop presenting. And here we are.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. I learned a ton, even though I've lived and worked in Guelph for years. And I'll touch base with you guys on a few of the items afterwards.
Okay.
I always think it's amazing, like when you're traveling around Guelph, you don't really appreciate how much industry is here, do you? You kind of just take a turn and you're in an industrial complex. And I think, you know, if you had to build Sim City, which was a game I grew up with, I think you would build it like this. But the question is you know, getting moving or getting started in a business, especially from ground zero, is fairly difficult. Is there any kind of loans, grants, financial aid to do that? And the second, well, that'll be the first question. I'll do the second one.
I can jump in on that, and Tyson, you may, I may miss something. From the city, there isn't, but we can connect you with organizations such as like IRAP, and again, Innovation Guelph is a fantastic resource. They have, one of the things that has always been somewhat of a frustration working in economic development is that sometimes you just need to catch the like the events or the funding as it comes. And so my recommendation would be, because it'll come and it'll go, right? And maybe next year it'll come again, is to try and be as informed as possible about what services are available or what new programs are being launched by the federal and provincial governments. Certainly Research Innovation Office is a great contact. Innovation Guelph actually is some of the referrals. They can act as a referral service to some of those programs. So, and again, the more that we know in economic development about your business or your research or what it is that you're working on, the more informed we can help to make you to be able to connect with those services. So, Tyson, did you have anything to add?
No, I think you're right. I think from a startup kind of financial resource perspective, yeah, I think Innovation Guelph is, just given that they are our regional innovation center, our kind of Communitech, if you will, they're usually the most in the know as to what's in the pipeline from a financial resource perspective. And even themselves, they have programs for startups, and commercializing businesses as well. So even if they have their own funding programs as an organization, as well as kind of providing the resources to access the other levels of funding.
Yeah, it's good advice, actually. It's like when you apply for research funding, half the job is trying to find it and capture it when it's done so many. Second question, I don't want to ask too many. You referred to market research. Is that market research more a service, a paid service, or?
Yeah, so through us, the answer it's no. So we have, whether that's providing some of the economic data we have through, and some of it's general. We do also have access to market-specific data. So this is in line with, hey, I'm a restaurant or a retail business, and I have a certain demographic or market that I want to attract. Am I in the right neighborhood, or am I located in the right neighborhood? So we have that. There is also access for trade data. So, hey, I'm looking at, again, going back to Germany, I'm looking at Germany to maybe go and export my product there. Is there a huge demand? Are there any trade events going on? What is the market? What's the market as it relates to trade agreements? Are there any political sensitivities too? So that's kind of where we have a lot more access to that kind of information. But anything we would provide would be free of charge, or if it's not, we would obviously let you know well in advance before doing anything. But I would say our approach is not to charge for that service. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Perfect. And Leah, did you have a question?
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. I wanted to jump in. Thanks very much for that presentation. That was really, really helpful. The ideas that I'm sort of looking at are quite locally focused, so it's great to be able to connect with the city of Guelph, hear more about what you're doing. So the last question actually just prompted me with another question. I have two as well. Just very quickly, how would one access the sort of data that you're talking about? Sure,
I think as simple as feel free to send me an email and let me know what you're looking for, and I can, awesome. And that could be a further chat, or I could easily have it here, or it could be more digging to see what the province or feds have. So yeah, feel free to send me an email on that last slide there, and we can see what you're looking for.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Tyson.
Yeah, no problem.
So my other question was a little bit bigger, and I'm wondering about, I can't remember the exact name of it, but the city of Guelph had like a circular economy food grant thing, that big fancy one from the federal government. I was wondering what, if any, connection you have with that, if there are any updates on what sort of activities or resources are available through that.
Yeah, so absolutely. There is a work development stream specific to business as part of that program. Most of that is being also funneled through Innovation Guelph. So if you had interest in connecting in with that program, we'd be very happy to send your contact along to Innovation Guelph and the Smart Cities office, and they can better explain to you about specific, given your interest, specifically where you might fit into that overall program. So feel free to fire me an email, and I can get the right person.
That's great. Thanks a ton. I will. I'll follow up with all of you.
Great.
And Dana, did you have a question?
Yes, I do have a question. I think you've maybe just answered it, but I'll just put it super granular, plain words. If one of our entrepreneurs, or David or Kelly and I, want to know, who to go to for specific things. So for instance, when is it time to go to the business center and Christelle's team? When is it time to go to 10C or what have you? Can we reach out to you guys and say, here's the opportunity? Is this you or someone else?
Absolutely, feel free to reach out to us anytime. However, also growguelph.ca is actually split out by what the business need might be. So if it's workforce, if you're looking to upgrade skills, if you're looking for research and development funding, you can actually sort through, and it'll bring you directly to which business service it is that handles that. So check that out if you want for the self-serve.
So first step is go to Guelph, growguelph.ca. If you don't find the answer, ping you guys. That's what I'm hearing, which is awesome. I appreciate that very much. And then if you don't mind, I'm just going to respond a little bit to Leah's question to you about the circular economy stuff. We will next week be having folks from Provision Coalition on our discussion group call for the first, for the incubation cohort. Anyone from pre-acceleration who's on this call and wants to join us is welcome to for this portion as well, for the whole thing if you like. But the Provision Coalition folks are going to be talking about how they're onboarding people right now for their January cohort that is all about circularity and is linked to the Smart Cities program. So there'll be more information coming in mere days your way on that topic. So thanks for letting me make that announcement.
Thanks. I'll definitely look out for that as well.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great group of people to be connected into. They've been doing some really cool stuff locally. Yeah.
I agree, and we're just for your information, Christine, if you want to know anything more about it, I am chatting with John about how we might be able to somehow formalize a relationship with them and integrate some of their off-campus entrepreneurs more closely with this group that you see on your screen today. So
great.
Yeah. So now I'll.
Is there any more questions for the City of Guelph? Well, and I do just really want to thank you again for inviting us here. And I very much hope that this is not going to be the last time either. As we do have new programs that come on board, we'll make sure to keep you in mind to connect in again, especially if there's any opportunities specifically that might relate to some of the research that we learn from you that will be coming out of the university and looking to commercialize.
Well, that's amazing, and it's super helpful for us. We will be also sharing anything we get from you guys, as we have been since, for the last 6 months on the Guelph Guide to Entrepreneurship. And we're in the midst of some discussions about how to give that a more prominent place on the University of Guelph website, and how to link that that asset in more closely with what's happening at the Wood Center. So hopefully by this time next year, we'll have a really good system going and lots of great flow of information. But yeah, you guys shared a lot of really interesting things today. I thought I had a pretty good handle on what you do. And as Kelly said, I too learned things. And yeah, I want to thank the founders and entrepreneurs who tuned in as well. I hope that you all got some interesting tips and tidbits from this presentation as well. And yeah, just thank you so much for coming, and thank you, Kelly, for organizing this this event. It was yeah, probably something we should have thought of right off the bat when we were planning our programming, but better late than never.
Absolutely.
Yes, I think we can implement this more of a regular thing, maybe a few times a year as we get new cohorts coming in to Accelerated Guelph. That would be really helpful.
Fantastic. Anytime.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, take care, everybody.
And
Yeah,
I'll
thanks.
send contact information as well.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye. Hope to see you all soon.